Okay, where to start? I'm a self-made multi-millionaire, but I started off scrubbing pots and frying chips. And I sit here having a very peaceful morning from the Lake District with a very manic business on the side. And what I want today and who I am today is very different to what I wanted and who I was when I first started the company. And I want to share with you some, what I believe, very valuable lessons that will expedite your journey in making your first million or multi-millions, whatever you want to achieve, whilst most importantly, maintaining a level of peace and affluence within your life. Because the truth is, business is extremely hard. It is life on hard mode. And you're going to be incredibly stressed starting a business. And choosing a career is an honourable path that I respect in anyone, but it is the easy path to take. Starting a business, you're going to be sacrificing all of your time. You're going to be working ridiculous hours in the hopes that you will get a window that'll allow you to relax. But I believe, and I know through myself, that you can create a life that allows you to be able to choose when you work, how you work, who you work with, how you enjoy your money. Because there is a fundamental difference between financial freedom and freedom of choices. And today I'd like to talk to you about how you can set your business up in the early stages to facilitate long-term freedom of choices, so you don't build a prison that you don't have the key to. I read something this morning, which is why I'm recording this video, that made me feel compelled to record it, that 93% of Gen Zers choose or want to start a business, but yet 90% of startup businesses fail. So we now have a society where the majority of new generations want to start companies, but the majority are going to fail. That's not something I want to stand for. It has always been my mission to help people and to give more way for free than other people would have them pay for online. That's what compelled me to create this channel and continue creating valuable content to help people start companies. And that pains me. And so I introspectively this morning was thinking about why that might be. Why might 90% of people fail, but we're in a society where the majority of people want to start companies? And it doesn't matter if you're Gen Z, Gen X, millennial, whatever you are. We love a label in society these days. Regardless, we're in a place where more people want to start companies, but they're still going to fail. And then I dug into this survey deeper, and it's with Zen Business. And it stated that the number one reason that people stated they want to start a business is to be their own boss. Resonated with that because I used to say that all the time. I wanted to be my own boss, okay? I wanted to be the maker of my own future. Okay, and the number one reason that people want to be their own boss is financial freedom, is to make money. And I get that because it's the biggest pain. Money is the thing that majority of people don't have, and so it's natural for you to pursue money. It's what I pursued in the early stages, okay? Before I hit 10k a month, money was the number one thing. I just want to earn money. I want to hit 10k a month. That's the number one goal that people say to me. I want to hit 10k a month, Jordan. How do I do that? How can I do that in the shortest time frame? And that makes sense. But if financial freedom is your destination, then you're going to end up very unfilled in the business. And this was my fundamental mistake. I wanted financial freedom for a very, very long time. And then when I achieved financial freedom, I was left in this place where I was locked in a cell that I had created for myself, that I didn't know where the key was, okay? I didn't know how to get out of it. And so I had to break myself out of this cell in order to gain freedom of choices again within my life. I had more choice in my career, okay? I had more choice working in retail stores than I did in building my way through business and and finding myself in this place as a multi-millionaire, but no freedom of time, no freedom of location, no freedom of what I'm actually doing with my days. And so let's start off from the beginning. I have very vague framework for this video because I just planned it out in the last 20 minutes. So I might flick over to my notes, but I want this to be raw and uncut for you guys. And I truly believe this is going to change the way that you see your business and set you up for success and just to have more peace and fulfillment in the company. So we start off with the first step, and it is the goal. If you want to hit 10k a month, that is absolutely fine. You can hit 10k a month. I've got many frameworks on my channel that will show you how to do that for free, regardless of the business model. I own an agency business model. I don't come from money. I'm completely self-made. I was a newspaper boy. I was in a pot washer. I used to sell sweets in school. I then worked my way up into sales. Got kicked out of university. Okay, I do not come from a privileged background in retrospect to the world, of course. But as far as coming from money and being a silver spoon, absolutely not. I've worked very hard to achieve what I've got. And so that first 10k a month was the number one goal that I'd set. I'd never earned that money before on a monthly basis, and with all of my might, I just went out and I just threw shit at the wall. Just lots of sales outreach. Well, regardless of what business you're in, 0 to 10k a month is all about volume. How long can I maintain volume? Okay, it's really what's going to get you to 10k a month. And it's just that consistency over a time period. It took me only 3 months to do this in my business, and when I hit it, I was still unfilled from the financial amount. I got a small win mainly from friends and family who were more excited for me than even I was for myself. But hitting that 10k didn't feel how I thought it was going to feel. But one thing I did do, which I recommend to all of you doing, if you have the urge, if you're financially driven right now, okay, if you're material driven, then I recommend that you do not hold back from actually treating yourself in that process. So many people and your parents and everyone around you says, just don't spend the money, like you got to save, you got to do this. Screw that. I bought a Rolex a couple of months into earning 10k a month. I bought a BMW M4 like about 6 months in, and I got a Porsche Cayman GT4 12 months in. Now I don't recommend you splurging that much. I probably went too far, but I'd never been around money before. I'd never earned much before. And so I had to go through this process of self-finding to realise that it wasn't going to be money that was going to make me feel filled in my life. That wasn't going to fill the empty void I was trying to fill. Okay, there was something bigger and greater that I was trying to fulfill, and I could only learn that through pushing myself through a time where I was materialistic and I was buying these very surface level items. Okay, and don't get me wrong, it was great to have that status at that young age. I enjoyed being a young man who was wealthy enough to be able to buy a Rolex, buy a nice car. I'm never gonna sugarcoat that, and I don't regret that for a moment. So if you are someone that is generally materialistic, you're motivated by money, go do that thing, buy that car, buy the watch, buy the clothes, whatever you want to buy, do it to then take the lesson yourself. Because I truly believe that you can't take lessons from other people when they are that personal. Okay, when they're that deep rooted. If you haven't had a great relationship with money, if you've never been exposed to money, you're gonna want materialism, and that's absolutely okay as long as you don't bleed the business completely dry. Okay. We've got to keep cash in the business to be able to continue growing the business. And so then we take that little lesson from that first 10k, okay? And we're working our ass off. There's no two ways about it. I live a very peaceful and free life now, and I can choose to work when I want. But going from 0 to 10k and even 0 to 1 mil, you're gonna have to work so much harder than you would in your job. That is the harsh truth. Now, you can create a business that'll allow you to work only a few hours a day, should you choose to. But to get to that point, we have to sacrifice a huge amount. We have to sacrifice the nights out. We have to sacrifice the meals out. We have to sacrifice our mornings when we're working and sacrifice our evenings when we're watching Netflix. We have to make a lot of sacrifices in order to get the ultimate peace and abundance in our life later down the line. So 10 to 1 million is just about grit and graft. It was a challenging time because I wasn't really spending cash. So we go through that cycle of burnout and what feels like this never-ending time span of just working, sleeping, eating, working, sleeping, eating, working, sleeping, eating, until we finally make that first million. And can't lie, the first million does feel better than the 10k, for obvious reasons. I had a little dance in my pants, went on a holiday, and celebrated, because millionaire status is something that we hold in such high regard in society, and I think that's why it feels so much better. And also just because you've had so much more grit and graft that went into making it in the first place. But you do look back in this moment of clarity when you've finished celebrating and you realise that what it took to get you to that first million was building your own prison, okay? Was building your own prison cell. And it's not easy to get out of that prison cell. You're working hours that you don't choose to work. You're working on tasks that you're not choosing to working on. You have team members reporting to you that you can't get rid of. The business depends on you more than you would like it to, and if you left, it would collapse. And so you find yourself in this position where you've just been grafting so hard that you look back and you're like, shit, I am now a slave to this company. And that leads me on to really my first lesson, which is you will build your own prison. In fact, I would go as far to say as you have to build your own prison if you want to become a millionaire. But don't forget that you hold the keys. You have the keys in order to unlock that door and unlock what I would call at that period 7-figure Zen, when you can be earning over $1 million and you can work minimal hours if you choose. You can work on what you want to. And that's the key. Most entrepreneurs will get the bug of entrepreneurship. They will absolutely love what they do because we're fueled by passion. When you're doing something you love, you will want to do it all the time. I work crazy hours still, but through pure passion because I love the work that I'm on. If I had to work on things out of necessity and I didn't have choice on what I'm working on, I would feel completely different about it. And at that million point, you won't have the choice. And so you will seek 7-figure Zen, where you can have more peace in your life and just those freedom of choices. And so we have to remember that we are the person that built the prison. And so if we're the architect of that and we built it brick by brick, we can break it down brick by brick as well. Or at least we can dissect what we need to dissect in order to figure out what we need to do to remove ourselves from the situation. And so you're going to have to make some pretty strategic hires. You might need to relinquish control and trust your team members more. You might need to build better systems and operations and SOPs. You might better want to implement AI automation and Zapier automations. But at the very least, you're going to have to relinquish control, and that's a difficult thing to do because what it took to get your business from 0 to 1 mil is all about you being selfish and relentless and almost like a dictator through the company. It's you dictating the path that you're going to take in order to get everybody to the Holy Land. But in order for you to then gain peace back in your life and unlock the prison gate, you have to relinquish control and trust the people inside of your business that they've got you. Okay, that they can guide the sales, that they can take you to the destination. And that's going to be a long transitional period. It's going to take like 6 months in order for you to do that. But we have to do that in order to then gain happiness back within our lives. Because if we are financially free without the means to actually enjoy those finances, then what's the point in having them in the first place? For me, when I first started my company, I wanted to make so much money that I never know what money is. Okay, well, I forget what the whole concept of money, so I can completely eradicate the chains of money. Okay, so I can truly do what I want when I want with whoever I want to without thinking about the price tag. That to me is true financial freedom. But what is the point in having that if I can't actually take myself away from the business? Okay, so that transitional period was so incredible to me and allowing me to take myself out of that role, and you have to do the same for yourself. And I think one of the things I realized is work-life balance is a myth, truly, because work turns into life and life into work. Okay, they are not two separate things. If you love what you do and you're passionate about your company, and you have to be passionate about your company, if you're watching this right now thinking, I'm not passionate about the business, there's two things. Maybe you, number one, you haven't given it enough time yet to find passion through it. You haven't found what you love about it. Or number two, you're just in the wrong vehicle. And being in the wrong vehicle is fine, just as long as you don't stay in the wrong vehicle for a long time. We have to get out of it. But your work will turn into your life and your life will turn into your work. But that doesn't give you a free pass to neglect life outside of work. Okay? We have to allow ourselves the opportunity to shut off completely. Do things like this. Get away. I like to spend time in nature. I go camping all the time. Okay, I'll go camping, just drive, and I'll set up a tent, and then I'll just reduce myself to absolutely nothing. It's only when I've had everything in the world that I truly be able to appreciate nothing. And I put that down to mental security and minimizing anxiety. And if we just think of anxiety as the inability to control our choices and too many choices and knowing what path to take. When you've earned everything that you want to earn and you've got everything you want to get, then everything becomes about purpose and fulfillment and passion. And when everything's about purpose and fulfillment and passion, you can do anything or be reduced to nothing and still be wholly happy and satisfied in your life. And so I love camping. I love taking myself out in nature, going for long walks. We have to do that. Because if you just find yourselves in a place where you're working 12, 15-hour days every day, but you don't give yourself the ability to shut down the mind and recharge, then you're not going to be operating at your peak. Okay, it's like going to the gym every single day and you're lifting weights 7 days a week. You're not giving your body the chance to repair. Okay, you're not getting adequate rest. You're not allowing the muscles to grow. The brain is exactly the same. If you're literally just firing at 9,000 revs every single day, 24 hours a day, then you're not going to be able to perform at your best. Your brain isn't going to be producing the best ideas. And so I like to, every weekend in fact, take myself away, not always away outside of the house, but sometimes just going for really long walks. But I take weekends off. And it's something that I claimed back in my life after I made the first couple of million at that point. Because for a long time I worked weekends, and many people sacrifice their weekends. But actually, taking that time off to recharge is so invaluable. So don't forget to enjoy your life, because you don't want to look back as an old man or woman on your deathbed and think, yeah, I got filthy, rotten rich, but I was a slave to a company my whole life. I didn't get to enjoy that. You will have so much regret. So we have to remember to enjoy that path. I see so many peers who I respect in business who are doing so incredibly well, who are achieving such incredible things, but they don't live. And it pains me. And I mean, I don't know why, because it's not my life. But I just know what it's like when you've done that for a long period. I mean, so everyone's different. I mean, some of you might be watching this right now thinking, Jordan, I don't agree with what you're saying right now. And in fact, if that is you, please drop a comment. This is a video unlike many that I record on this channel, just mainly much more polished content, and we're always going through, it's normally mostly educational content, and this is really me just brain dumping and giving you guys a glimpse into my thought processes at the moment and the point that I'm in my life. But I'm keen to understand whether you agree with what I'm saying right now, because I didn't build a business to be a slave to that company for the rest of my life. I built a business that would serve my life and allow me to have a vehicle that I could be truly passionate about and be excited to work on every single day, but through choice, not necessity. And then when I choose to be peaceful and relaxed and stress-free and liberated, then I can. Because I've built a business that serves me, not a business that demands me. Yeah. Now, one of the most valuable things that I did when coming to this realization was going back to my core values, was looking at my brand, which is Affluent, and revisiting the reason why I started that brand in the first place. So your business is a manifestation of yourself and your values and what you truly believe in. And the word affluent was a very intentional word that I chose to start my company for two reasons. I chose the word affluent because it means to flow freely in abundance. Abundance being having a great deal of anything. We have enough food to go around. We have enough money to go around. We have enough time to go around. And to flow freely is to be free. It's to have freedom. Okay, freedom to move that abundance wherever we want to. It's not being stagnant in a pool with bacteria growing and moss on the top, just hoarding our cash. It's being like a river surging, okay, with abundance, flowing freely and gracing everything, hydrating everything that we touch. Okay, it's all well and good wanting to be financially free and collecting cash, but how happy and filled and how much peace are you going to have in your life if you're just hoarding it and staying in your stagnant pool? We want to be able to be abundantly free with the assets that we create, with the love and the relationships and everything else that comes alongside that. Because life isn't about finite goals. It's about the infinite game. And this reminds me of what it is. The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek. This is a book that I thoroughly recommend to all of you guys to read. Read this every year just to try and recap on this concept that life is not about finite games. Business is not about finite games, and your business is just an extension of your life. It's just a manifestation of who you are and the values that you have, and you're just pushing that through a vehicle that just so happens to make money. Business isn't about finite games. It's not about, okay, I just want to be financially free, I just want to make 100 mil. Because when you hit that point, you're then like, okay, what is next? And then you lose yourself, and you end up losing to somebody else who's playing the long finite game. Okay, so to flow freely in abundance, that isn't something finite, because we can't define that. If we are to flow freely in an abundance of anything that you could perceive to be what you want to be abundant in, then that is infinite in itself. And so if your goal is affluence, or to be affluent, then you have an infinite goal. And that is why I stand so strongly behind the brand. And so if we stop looking at financial freedom as our first step and we start looking at affluence, what we allow ourselves to do is play a game that other people aren't playing. Because our success and our fulfillment isn't attached to one specific tangible thing that we can gain. And we accept that the thing we are working towards is infinite. And it won't always be perfect, but we will flow freely with that abundance through the good and the bad. And that'll make us an unstoppable force in life. Because we are not motivated by single finite things that can come and go, and then we have to jump our brain onto the next thing to try and keep ourselves filled. And that'll allow you to work relentless hours when you want to. It'll allow you to chill when you want to. It'll allow you to flow freely. I love having seasons in my business and in my life. I will go 6 months of just sheer, utter, relentless graft and grit, where I'm just in the trenches and optimized just around getting the job done in work on whatever project is motivating me in that moment in time that I'm just passionate about, and I'll go into that season. But I'll allow myself another season where I'll take less time off, much less. I'm more in hardcore season than I am out of, and that's just the life I choose, but you can choose to live what you want. And then I'll just take time off and I'll go camping and I'll do such. I like to actually kind of flick between both. Hardcore, a little bit of time off, hardcore, a little bit of time off. But it's the freedom of choice. It's choosing those seasons, just like we choose the sun. A massive unlock. This is just a side note for you guys. One of the best life hacks ever. It's just incredible. Is the ability to choose the seasons quite physically. It's having spring when you want it. I like spring, summer, autumn, spring, summer, autumn, spring, summer, autumn, going from the UK to Cape Town. This is perfect for me. When you first start earning enough money to be able to choose your seasons, it's your first taste of choice. And when you can, if you are one of those kind of warm-blooded people, would it warm-blooded or cold-blooded? Whatever. If you love the sun, if you chase the sun, I truly believe there's not many things in the world that aren't better without the sun. When you first get the opportunity to choose where you live based on the seasons and the weather, it's incredible. But it's, I suppose, a small micro expression of the concept I'm talking about. It's that infinite game. It's the freedom of choice. Okay. I want to finish off just by almost a note to self, but also to you guys, to give you an idea of what some of the goals are that I'm looking to now. Now I'm at a point where I have multiple millions, and I'm looking to, okay, what is my next step in affluence journey? And I still truly don't believe I'm yet at the point where I have so much cash I don't know what cash is anymore. That is something that I would like to achieve. It is a goal that I set right in the early stages, and a goal that I still have to this day for whatever reason, probably due to my past bad relationship with money and not being exposed to money over the years. But I yet feel like I have so much money that I don't know what money is anymore, and I look forward to completely eradicating any emotion attached to the financial figure that exists in my bank, and knowing that I could get anything I want at all and it will not impact me in any way, shape or form. And that's not because I want to buy crazy things, because in fact I have no motivations at all to buy materialistic shit at the minute. Like, really none, outside of investments. I've already got nice cars, nice house. Like, what more do I want? Nice watches, nice shit. Like, I want that just because I know that I can, and then I'll make the choice that I won't, and that'll be lovely. So we'll see. I have no idea what that figure will be. In my head, I think it's going to be around 100 million. That's the figure that I have in my head, but we will see, and I'll keep you guys updated alongside the journey and when I actually feel like that. I also have a North Star, one of the stepping stones in the infinite game of building my dream home. I want to do that within the next 5 years. I would like to build, and I cannot wait to build the fortress in nature, completely secluded, with my bonsai collection, koi pond, and it is just going to be an absolute utopia. With a beautiful bit of land on a river or with a lake, either or, and I'm looking forward to building an outdoor office that I walk down a path to every day, and it's got a spa next to it with a sauna and a cold plunge, and having the time to be able to build that. It's going to be a very time-consuming project. I want to be completely emotionally invested into it as if it's my baby. I got kicked out of university when I studied architecture. It'll be somewhat of a full circle moment when I actually become the architect of my own home, having been kicked out of uni and not having the degree. So it'll be fun to do that, and so I'm very much looking forward to that stepping stone. And then the final goal that I have right now that springs to mind is helping over 10,000 agency owners launch, build and scale. We're halfway to that point at the moment. We've worked with over 5,000 agency owners in our high ticket programs over the past 8 years. I'm looking forward to hitting the 10,000 milestone. That'll be great. And then that's, then we'll raise the bar from there. But those are some of the stepping stones in the infinite game. There is no finite goal right now. We're just continuing to just express passion through the vehicle of business that we have, and seek peace and fulfillment in everything that we do, and have the freedom of choice to seek chaos and mania when we want to, which is just the joy of business, right? If you enjoyed this video, then smash the subscribe button and turn your notification bell on and let me know, and I'll record more content like this in the future. I know it won't get more views than my normal educational content, but to be honest, I don't give a shit. I've enjoyed recording it. See you soon. Cheers.